What's up guys, in this video comparing the Oneplus Nord N200 with the Pixel 6 Pro from Google. We have a budget priced option in the OnePlus, and we have a super big flagship powerful phone in the Pixel 6 Pro. So let's go ahead and get started. And yes, the price is probably the most obvious thing. You can get the Oneplus Nord N200 brand new under $240. You can get it free on prepaid. Pixel 6 Pro comes in with a semi-hefty price at $900, but it is not over $1,000 like other big flagships, so keep that in mind. And let's just talk about the overall size of the device, and they're pretty much the same. They're both pretty big phones. They're around 6.4 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 0.33 to 35 inches thick. So overall around the same size. Weight wise, the N200 is lightweight at 6.6 ounces versus the 7.4 ounces on the Pixel 6 Pro. Build quality very different. The OnePlus N200 is an overall plastic device. Pixel 6 Pro quality, build quality. Glass front, glass back aluminum frame. Pixel 6 Pro has an eSIM built in, which I find very handy, very underrated. You don't have to have a physical SIM card to activate service and have two different phone numbers, two different data plans at the same time, so that's awesome. Pixel also has IP68 dust and water resistance up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. You don't have any of that on the N200. Now let's talk about the display. You have a 6.5 inch display on the N200 versus the bigger 6.7 inches on the Pixel. You have 90 Hz refresh rate on the Nord N200, and you get 120 Hz on the Pixel 6 Pro. So both of these have higher than normal refresh rates, and it's kind of impressive that the N200 has 90 Hz refresh, and you can get this device for free or under $250. Pixel 6 Pro just maxes out at 120 Hz, very, very nice. Screen to body ratio, the N200 gives you around 84%, while the Pixel gives you way more screen to body ratio at almost 89%. So very, very minimal bezel. It's almost an all-screen display on the Pixel 6 Pro. Resolution is a 1080p display on the OnePlus versus the 1440 resolution on the Pixel 6 Pro. So another kind of a very impressive on the N200 at 1080p. And you also get always on display on the Pixel 6 Pro. So an overall better display on the Pixel 6 Pro. Software wise, they both have a stock version of Android. You get Android 11 on the N200. You get Android 12 on the Pixel 6 Pro, but you will not get any more updates on the OnePlus, while the Pixel 6 Pro gets 3 years of software updates, 5 years of security updates, and you'll get them on day one. But both of these software versions of Android feel very similar, and they're both stock. Chipset, you get a lower end Snapdragon 480 processor on that, on that OnePlus, while the Pixel 6 Pro is packing that new powerful Google Tensor chip. Now let's go to internal storage. The N200 comes with 64 gigs, while the Pixel 6 Pro has 128 gigs, but the N200 packs a micro SD card slot. Now for the camera section, we have 3 cameras on the N200, and you also get 3 cameras on the Pixel 6 Pro. So the main camera on the OnePlus is 13 megapixels versus the 50 on the Pixel. You get 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth on the Nord N200. Pixel 6 Pro has a 48 megapixel telephoto lens and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So the big difference between these is that the N200 is missing that ultra wide and that telephoto. The macro and the depth cameras don't really matter to most people, in my opinion. And you can shoot video in 1080p on the N200, 4K on the Pixel 6 Pro. So the N200 does a reasonable job of having a good camera system, but at night it's probably gonna suck. Pixel 6 Pro is the best of the best in-class camera, period. Selfie camera, N200 has a 16 megapixel shooter at 1080p video. Pixel 6 Pro has a very impressive selfie camera. 11 megapixel ultra wide camera. Let me repeat that, ultra wide. So you're gonna get a lot more in the shot. And if you're in a group of people and you want to take a selfie camera, I think an ultra wide is very important. And it shoots in 4K, so very impressive selfie camera on the Pixel 6 Pro. You get a headphone jack though on the N200, while the Pixel does not. Bluetooth 5.1 on the Oneplus versus the 5.2 Bluetooth on the Pixel 6 Pro. NFC on both of these devices. USB Type-C on both of these as well. Fingerprint readers and unlocking. The N200 has a side-mounted fingerprint reader. Pixel 6 Pro has a under-the-display fingerprint reader. Big surprise in the battery department. Both of these have a huge 5,000 milliamp battery, so that means all-day battery life, and that's very impressive coming from one that's a free to $200 phone, and it has the same thing as a $900 flagship, so that's very impressive. And the N200 also has fast charging at 18 watts. Pixel 6 Pro fast charging as well at 30 watts, 50% charge in 30 minutes. And it also has fast wireless charging at 23 watts and reverse wireless charging. So yes, the Pixel 6 Pro is obviously a way better device than the N200, but you're paying way more for it. I'm very impressed by the N200, and it's at the free price point, and even at $240, it's still very impressive. I do like that it has a 90 hertz refresh rate. It has a 1080p display, and it has a huge 5,000 milliamp battery. And the stock version of Android is pretty nice as well, although it's not getting any updates. And the Pixel 6 Pro, there's pretty much everything about it is awesome. This phone pretty much has it all, and you're not going past $900. And you could actually get it as a small discount on prepaid by Visible here in the US. They'll give you a $200 gift card with that as well. So effectively, it turns it into a $700 price tag. Everything else is pretty much on postpaid. You have to trade in and sign contracts and build credits. So yeah, there's that. But I just thought I'd let you guys know and be interested to compare a budget device with a super flagship from Google. Well, thanks guys for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.